On behalf of Jagannath International Management School, Kalkaji, I, Kavya, welcome you all. I would like to extend my warm greetings to the Honorable Director Sir, Dr. Anuj Verma, the respected HOD Sir, HOD Ma'am, our beloved teachers, and our fellow students. With immense pleasure, I welcome you all to the 10th episode of the JIMS Talk, a talk show where we invite captivating personalities such as entrepreneurs and social activists to learn from their finest journeys. Thank you so much for joining us today. In this episode of the JIMS Talk, we have with us a personality who has added a unique flavor to the world of coffee. A person who, along with his co-founder, has taken the goodness and richness of coffee to a whole new level with their brand Beanie. Incepted in 2018, Beanleaf is not just a coffee brand, it's a sensation. Founded by Mr. Samayesh Khanna and his co-founders, this brand has redefined the coffee experience for many. The company remodeled its status when it came up with an idea for a unique type of packaging to keep aroma of coffee fresh and crisp for a long time. They source the packaging material from various countries like South Korea and Japan to fabricate the best user experience, to get you freshly brewed coffee right in comfort of your home. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the co-founder of Beanly, Mr. Samayesh Khanna. To make this morning a blessed one, let us all invoke Goddess Saraswati by kindling the lamp of knowledge and wisdom. For seeking the choicest blessings for the same, I would request our Honorable HOD Sir to accompany our highly regarded guest speaker, Mr. Samayesh Khanna.
Thank you.
Before we begin with the show, I would like to request our Honorable HOD Sir to grace our guest with a green initiative.
Thank you.
So you make it seated here.
Perfect. Thank you.
Now, let's welcome our host for today, Ms. Maam Khan.
Okay, so India is a country where tea is a staple. People normally buy tea along with their grocery shopping. So why you chose coffee and how you identified this opportunity in a tea dominant market?
I think it's one of the most valid questions that gets asked very, very often. As a country, we consume nearly 12 cups of tea in comparison to every 1 cup of coffee. But very quickly, I think the dynamic is about to change, and we have India's at an inflection point. We're a 28-year-old with an average age of 28. We're a country that we can say is fairly young now. The way the younger generations think, I think coffee is the beverage of choice, and it's something that we've seen happening globally, not just in India. It's happened globally. If you look at China, Japan, Indonesia, you look at the UK as well. Each one of these countries, as I speak, was predominantly a tea drinking nation till the last 10-20 years. We in fact knew China as the country of China tea, and we're today looking at a country which is dominated largely by coffee.
Alright, and so why coffee? Why you don't choose any other venture?
That was something purely out of the love for the beverage. Me and Rahul both came from varying backgrounds. I came from a failed startup before this, and as many times that we sat down to think about what to do next, we usually found ourselves having these discussions over a cup of coffee. I think that was what ignited the thought of doing this over coffee.
All right. I think initial year for every business is something which is very crucial, and a lot of challenges come there. So, what are the challenges that you followed in the initial days of Beanly?
We had a lot of challenges. One was the product that we picked up wasn't a perfect product market fit for that time. We started very early in 2018-19, and it took us a while to find product market fit with even coffee. So, like you said, we were competing in a tea drinking nation, and we were building a consumer brand, and that would require a ton of money to get a lot of people to understand what freshly brewed coffee was, what we were building out. So there was obviously that initial phase where we felt that getting adoption would be more expensive to get people to adopt to coffee. That was one of the earliest challenges, but over time I think we found our hacks around it.
Okay, so sir, when I talk about challenges, convincing consumer is one. So, what are the marketing strategies that you follow to create a brand awareness?
So for us, it wasn't just marketing strategies. It was how we created this consumer awareness was distribution driven. Also, we believe that consumer marketing is extremely important. I think it is one of the largest moats that you build over time as a brand. A lot of startups don't have the luxury of capital when you start out, and we certainly didn't. In fact, venture capital is also something we did not choose to venture into very early in our journey, and distribution was our mode of getting consumers to try the product. And surprisingly enough, it was one of the most unique ways of distributing the product. We got early in Beanly's journey, we manufactured for 75 to 80% of the coffee brands in India, and we sold the same product that Beanly sells, but it was manufactured by Beanly. What that gave us was this luxury of profitable capital in our company to grow Beanly as a brand, and that was one mode of getting consumers to already understand what freshly brewed coffee was all about. So getting the product to every consumer out there, whether it was in our brand name or another brand name, was one of our early strategies to get these freshly brewed drip bags out there in the market.
Okay, and so as we are talking about marketing, these days influencer marketing is quite in a trend. Everyone is running behind influencers just to promote their product. So what is your take into it, and do you really feel that it is helpful for the brand?
I think the principle of building a brand hasn't changed much over time. It may have evolved, but it hasn't changed. So in our earlier days, we had this limited set of people who you could call influencers. But with the onset of social media, you suddenly see that anybody with a relevant active following can be an influencer. How you approach it is something which is also part of evolution. So we've just entered 5 or 10 years of influencer marketing on social media. Over the next 5 or 10 years, I think it'll rationalize itself a little bit also, and people will start to understand how to approach this market a lot better. Currently, obviously, early movers and early influencers have been able to reap the benefits of being early movers in this market. So, but the principle remains the same: getting your brand the visibility out there that it should get. Luckily, with influencers, it's not just celebrities who are your influencers; it's real customers. It's a bane and a boon, both.
All right. So, sir, as you have said about marketing trends, so these days AI is quite a buzzword, and everyone said that AI will eventually decrease the number of human jobs. So, what is your take into it? Do you really feel that AI is going to eliminate the need of humans?
I actually have a very different opinion on it. I feel nothing ever replaces any of us, whether you're talking about AI or you're talking about anything else. In fact, I'm not a fan of anybody using AI to work at Beanly, especially when you're looking at creative roles. I don't think AI does justice to what we're looking at, and I think human interference will always remain very, very cherished for all brands as they grow. So it's going to be near impossible to replace humans. In fact, it'll be really boring if they do. We won't have so many of us to interact with, and it'll be horrible to interact with AI.
Is it going to affect the coffee industry?
I don't see how right now.
You don't see that. All right. So first of all, congratulations for the opening of your new physical store in Gurgaon. And we being Gen Z, we love to visit cafes, especially for socializing and workplaces. So is Beanley's in the plan to open any new cafe or something in that space?
It may be on the cards. New stores are a work in progress, and like you all probably know, stores are our newest focus, and what we're looking to do with stores is slightly different. Our smallest format stores are now averagely 20-30% cheaper than a Blue Tokai third base Starbucks, and Gen Z millennials luckily have always been the audience that we built for. So hopefully every one of you, I'm looking forward to seeing many of you at the stores in Two Horizon, and hopefully once we're here in Delhi, we'll see you here.
So we all have read in our books about USP, which differentiates the brand. So what is the USP of Beanley, which differentiates it from all the brands in the market? Because in India, we have a lot of big brands of coffee. So what is that one thing which differentiates you?
So now there are so many things that I could highlight, and I'm going to answer this question in a few parts. I think there are many advantages that we built for ourselves as a brand, and I'll address it from the product standpoint to start with. I think we were very driven to build the best products in India, and some of our intellectual properties in terms of product manufacturing are unparalleled. For example, we've been pioneers in the hot brew space. When we entered the category, we are still the only players in the market to be making precision packed hot brew products, packed in zero oxygen, nitro flushed before sealing, and these bags make it super convenient to make a freshly brewed coffee. But at the same time, the taste of your coffee is unparalleled and it's uncompromised. Coffee, otherwise ground coffee, loses life every 7 minutes. It was something that we very consciously wanted to undo in our product. We didn't want our product to have lost its life by the time it reached you. So every Beanley product that you get out there today is made to taste fresh once you have it. So I think that's a very large advantage.
So what do you do for that, like to make that aroma?
Beanley bags are usually packed in an environment where we keep it inert. We pack them in near zero oxygen and nitro flush it before sealing. That ensures that your product is absolutely nearly fresh when it gets to you. Other than that, if you look at the ready to drink beverage space, we are the country's only operator to have nitro coffee cans, which is again a unique USP, unique to be Beanley, done purely for the customer. We wanted to get nitro coffee to India and have successfully become the only brand to do it even to date. So I could go on in the manufacturing space of how we are today replacing your average Nescafe and other brands, and I'm not going to shy away from naming most of these incumbents, but we look to be replacing your average incumbent with a much better product offering. So manufacturing, therein we do build something very significantly different.
Okay, so to start a business, funding is very important. So from where you raised your initial capital?
Actually, I differ on that. For the first 3 years of our business, we did not raise capital, and me and Rahul didn't have a lot of money to put back into the business. We started with very humble beginnings. I think both of us invested 3.5 lakhs each into the business, and the business was purely profitable beyond that, and everything that the business built after that was reinvested from the profits of the business.
As you talk about profits, so finance comes in. So what is that one lesson about finance you want to share with us that you learned in this journey? That how to manage finances during this business journey?
Honestly, I think today I can say that maybe I'm coming from a position where we're slightly more comfortable than we were when we started, but finance is overrated. Look at building a brand, and I think it's one of the mistakes that we also address every now and then when both of us talk amongst ourselves, that we were very conscious of the financial health of the company, the profitability of the company. Not that I'm saying discount it, but it shouldn't be your core focus when you're building a brand.
I'm sure here a lot of future entrepreneurs are sitting. So what would be the 3 lessons you want to share with all of us that you learned from your journey?
I could summarize them in just 2 things that I would tell everybody who goes out to build a brand, that nothing would replace the perseverance and grit of building, and if you ever do it, don't do it for the money, do it to build. And if you find something that you really want to build, that would be one of the only reasons to do it, because it's a lot harder, it's a lot less money in comparison to getting a job. You probably make a lot more money getting a job out there, but the thrill of doing this is something that is the only reason to do this. So if you're doing it for the money, don't do it, because it's not going to come around for a very, very long time.
Right. So, sir, as you have said about job, so now let's talk about the jobs in India. And we always heard that now you need skills to get a good job. So, what are skills you see in a person if you are hiring that one should have?
So we look at a lot of things on a micro level which are specific to the role, but when you look at if you ask me a very macro view on this, what do you look at? If I were to look at a macro level and we see a person, I think the one thing is the intent to do something, the love and the passion to build. It's very similar whether you're a team member, whether you're a partner, whether you're building with us. The passion to build has to be there, and it needs to be almost entrepreneurial. So that is something that is unparalleled. If you have someone in your team like that, they're probably better than you are doing what they do.
So, sir, what is the vision of Beanly? What brand you want to make in next 5 years or 10 years?
The vision of Beanly is a constant evolution. So we were largely D2C in nature, and we felt we were hitting a glass ceiling with online distribution and distribution-led coffee, and we felt that stores was our next mode to go. But the one thing that we constantly known that we are building for is to build a brand that gives a coffee in every hand. So we're not building in the premium coffee category. We're building with this very narrow set of customers in mind, which are the Gen Zs and millennials. So it's their everyday pain point around coffee that we look to address as a brand, whether it's with our stores, whether it's with our products. I think that's the audience that we cater to. That's where Beanly builds.
All right, sir. So that is about my questions. Now it's time for a rapid fire round. So I'll be giving you 2 options and you can choose any one.
Sure.
Bucket list items. What would be?
Are you going to give me 2 options?
Yeah.
What are my 2 options?
No, bucket list you have to say. What is in your bucket list?
What's on my bucket list? I think building this as something very significant is the one thing on my bucket list currently, and I don't know a close second.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. One word to describe your journey.
It's been fun.
Ideal vacation spot.
I would say the hills. The hills, yeah.
Most valuable advice you have received.
I think to never give up. I think it's one of those things, and I don't know who said that to me.
One thing you can't start your day without, besides coffee.
Besides coffee, the truth is, I really cannot start my day without coffee at this point. But if brushing my teeth would be a close second.
One book that has had a significant impact on you.
So I read this book on coffee once. I'm not going to name the book, but it's had a very significant impact on how I build. Other than that, I've been reading this one book called Atomic Habits of late, and I think it's impacting me well. So if you ask me a week later, I probably have another book to tell you about.
If you could enjoy a cup of coffee with someone from history, who would it be?
It's such a cliched answer, but the truth is Steve Jobs.
And why?
Steve Jobs, yeah, I think that answers everything itself.
If you could time travel, would you choose to visit the past or the future? And why?
I think the past, there's so much more to learn from there for now.
What's that one thing that you will learn from your past?
I wouldn't exactly want to visit my past, but I mean the past in general.
Okay. Never have I ever disliked one of my products, and you have to name it.
So you mean I have to name one product that I really dislike? One of my products. It's our instant coffee. I really don't like it.
Okay. Never have I ever taken business advice from my wife.
That's a question that wouldn't apply to me. I'm it's a single, so.
Okay. Never have I ever involved my inner lawyer to settle a very small dispute.
Actually, I do ignore small disputes very, very easily. I don't think I'm someone who's very non-confrontational in nature, so I don't. I generally settle them very, very quickly.
Okay, so we are done with the rapid fire round. Now it's time for our audience. You can ask any questions from sir.
Hi.
Hi.
Actually, we have seen that Bentley has come up with more collaborations and products. So, how do you see the Bentley as a company in upcoming years, as an individual brand?
So if I were to define a vision for Beanly over the next few years, I would say currently we need to, the one thing that we want to be constantly building towards is addressing real pain points for real consumers, and the consumer audience that we cater to and the consumer audience that we generally see ourselves addressing are the Gen Zs, the millennials. So I hope that over the next 5-8 years we can address real coffee problems that you all have, and that's how I envision this brand growing into the future, to a point that we do build products that sometimes I dislike as well. Like I mentioned, instant coffee is something that I wouldn't wake up to consuming every day, but it's something that our customers asked us for, and we have built, and I think we're very proud of the product we built despite me disliking it.
Hi, sir. So, personally, I find Beanly's packaging quite attractive. So, how has that impacted the overall customer experience?
Actually, I should ask you that question. If you found our packaging really interesting, has it impacted your consumer experience a lot?
Yeah, definitely. I find the font quite attractive, and the colors are also very vibrant that catches the consumer eyes.
Perfect. I think that answers your question. But why we chose to build products that were more vibrant and colorful was we wanted it to be something that stood out on retail displays, and that's why we built out these colorful, vibrant colors and typographies.
Thank you.
Hi sir, how do you think your journey has changed you as a person, like your qualities and everything, your entire journey?
Oh, that's a very, very interesting question. I haven't looked back at this for a very long time, but I think I've changed. I've changed very significantly as a person over the last 4.5 years, and hopefully for the better. But it's been a lot of fun building. I honestly didn't think that I had it in me to build this diligently for when I started out. So I can say this in hindsight. I'm super proud of the last 4 years and how we built. And I don't say this many times about how we built, but I think I'm very, very proud of diligently having our heads down towards building, irrespective of the returns. So that has been that's changed me a lot. I think we were a lot more driven towards other goals when we started out, but the journey changed us a lot.
Good morning, sir. So, as you mentioned that you have already experienced a failed startup. So, what's that one thing, or what are the failures that you've learned from that you haven't applied in your current startup?
Over dependency on external capital is something that we did step away from. So I think we haven't been over dependent on external capital to survive as a brand. That was a very, very significant learning for us when we started Beanly.
Good morning, sir. So my question is, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in scaling Beanly Coffee?
I think we are building in a category that was virtually unknown in 2018. Just getting consumer acceptance around freshly brewed coffee in a country that wasn't even consuming coffee. We are still largely a tea drinking nation. We missed one step in our journey, which was getting consumers to start consuming coffee, which was where the first step would be instant coffee first. it was something we missed. But it's always easier to reflect on all of these points in hindsight. So I haven't looked at the rearview mirror a lot, but there are lots of challenges, and building is constantly a challenge. You're also limited on your resources. So while you build, it's like we've had to keep an eye out on our resources while we build, because you're also going through your resources with every month that you're building, and to build something of relevance before they run out was a very, very big challenge. And yeah, I think those are the two challenges I would say we addressed well.
Hi sir, I wanted to ask, are there any new products that you would like to introduce in our product line?
Currently not the product line. Over the next 2 years, I think our goals are looking beyond product lines right now. I think we're happy with where we are in terms of the products we built. It's building the distribution channels, and that becomes more relevant. I think distribution is where we want to keep our core focus right now.
Hi sir.
Hi.
I would say I'm very happy that you came here because coffee is my favorite. So my question is that, sorry, I'm really dived into finance, so I would want to know that it is very important to get investments in a business, right? So how did you get investments, or like what was your call on getting angel investors in your business? Thank you.
So I think I've heard this now for a second or third time, but getting capital into your company isn't always the best thing, and it's not the most important thing to look for when you're building. Capital is a byproduct of you building, so let's keep that in mind while we build. Capital always follows a great product or a great business, so don't worry about the capital. It's actually a byproduct of what you're building. So if you're building well, the capital will follow 110%. You will have angels running out to you, or you probably have institutions running back to you, and you'll be refusing their money if you're building something of relevance and if you're building good. So just keep the fundamentals in mind. You'll feel a lot more confident about what you're building.
Hi sir.
Hi.
I wanted to know, how do you compete with Nescafe, Kotamai and other brands?
Great. So we're a nation with a lot of coffee brands now, and I was warned about this question earlier, and I'm happy to address this. Incumbents is something which all of us young startups are competing with, and you would know who the incumbents are. When it comes to other brands, though we do keep competing with each other, I think at least us as a brand, we've never kept our focus at competing with them or at what they are building. In fact, a lot of times we found our eyes shut to what they've been building. We're constantly building for ourselves, and I think this market is large enough for us to exist and for us to build something of relevance. And there are so many unaddressed coffee problems that you all have on an everyday basis, which we'd be happy to address.
Hello sir, are you planning to tap the instant tea market in the future?
Not at all.
So why sir?
We are building in the coffee category, and it's our beverage of choice. It's our product of choice. Somewhere down the line, I hope that I don't have to eat my words, but it's our coffee is our beverage of choice, and it's the product of choice that we want to build.
Thank you sir.
Hi sir.
Hi.
How did you come up with the idea of making the pour-over coffee?
So this was pour-overs are our first product, and this was actually a drip bag that came in from Japan. Rahul carried it on one of his trips from his Buddhism class, and when we saw the product, we found it was love at first sight with this product, and that's where Beanly was born out of. So we did replicate a Japanese drip bag and built it in India, but we wanted to add our own touch to it. So We ensured that the coffee that we put into it did not lose its life. We both went down and studied coffee for a really long time after that to figure out what was it that we would change with our coffee so that it didn't lose life. Drip bags, for a very large part of the coffee industry, did not become very famous because ground coffee would lose its life by the time it got to your house, and you would be having a really poor cup of coffee when you had one. So if you're actually having a drip bag that's not made by Beanly, there's a good chance the coffee doesn't taste as fresh as it does when we build those bags out. So that was our small touch to it, but yes, it was a bag that we picked out in Japan and we built in India.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you everyone. So sir, now we have a lucky draw round where students have put their name. Can you have the board? You can have 2 chips, so you can select 2.
Sure. Want me to name them?
You can read out the names.
I think one is Dhabi. And Nayesh Garg. Yeah. Hi.
Hi, sir.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy your coffee. Hey. Do you have coffee often?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you sir, it was great talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We wrap this up, right?
Thank you, our
Thank you so
honorable
much.
guest, who is such a remarkable person with their vast achievements. And thank you so much, sir, for gracing us with your presence. Now I would like to invite Ms. Aarti Vaish and Mr. Kartik Dayal, sir, to greet you with your memento.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you sir.
Thank
Thanks.
you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.